Always forget to do that otherwise. So yes, so we're in the right place. We know about energy. We know about the three principles. Who wants to know how the two fit together? Hi, Christina. How you doing? Yay! Well, you're in the right place at the right time, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we are actually going to be talking a little bit about Cape Verde as well, because that's where we plan to do a lot of this energy work that we're going to talk a little bit about today. So, first of all, has anyone not met Fiona before? Is there anyone who hasn't met Fiona? Hands up if you haven't met Fiona. You've all met Fiona. Fiona, you get around. Everyone's met you.
I know. Don't say everyone.
What are you like?
It's a well-kept secret.
So we don't need to do any introductions, do we? Oh, hold on. There's another one in the meeting room. I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing the meeting room thing again. I'm just going to let them all in next time. You can just come in and have a play. Hi, Vanessa. How you doing? So on the basis that everyone knows who I am and everyone knows who Fiona is, we might just find out a little bit about who you guys are, actually. Who is currently sharing the three principles with others? Hands up if you're sharing three principles with others. Ooh, that's a bit of a lower number, I thought. Who would like to? Who's going through the process of doing it? Okay, a couple more. And who would like a little bit more energy in their life? Yeah. Lisa, you didn't put your hand up. You're okay. Oh, yeah, you do. Are you okay? Just check. I got too much. So that's where we're going to start. Fiona, what I wanted to ask you first of all is, why did you move to Portugal?
Okay. For those of you who don't know, I moved to Portugal to be part of a conscious evolutionary community. And we use the term consciousness, like Three Principles uses the term mind.
Okay. Would you say that there are places that there is more energy than others?
Yeah, for sure. It was a really weird experience. I wasn't expecting this. When I got off the plane, the first time I arrived in Portugal in Lisboa, I got off the plane and I was just like, I kind of feel like I'm home. And it's such a weird feeling. And I didn't expect that at all. And then you just get busy like you do and you don't really think about it. But where I live now in the Sintra National Park in the mountains, I just love it. It's just such pure, clean, beautiful energy. And whenever I can, I even brought a car so I can go there quicker. Me and my dog get in my car. She drives. I'm only joking. We go to the beach and she runs around for an hour like a mad woman, like she is. And I sit down, and for an hour, I'm not the mad woman that I am. I just go into nature and really feel at home and quieten down, and I love it. And I've got the most beautiful view out my window where I live.
I've seen it. No, it's amazing. So I'm going to dive straight in the deep end here, and I know we've kind of like touched upon this before, but I just want to ask you, in your opinion, what is energy? Okay,
in my opinion, to like not talk about the science, but just to get right to it, we know when we feel alive, don't we? Put your hand up. We know when we feel alive.
Did today?
And we know when we feel shit and when we feel dead, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So isn't that proof enough that you're energy? The fact that you can feel that you're alive, the fact that you feel this, woo, yeah, let's go, this really positive, not even positive, it's just a go for it energy, isn't it? It's just an enthusiasm, there's just a being inside of you. And sometimes that looks very quiet, that looks like meditation, that looks like me sitting on the beach. But when that's not there, you feel that something's missing. But when it's not there, it's most of the time it's because you're not feeling it, because it never goes, because it only leaves you at the time you die. And the funniest thing is it doesn't leave you, because who are you? You're not your body. You go, and sorry if this is not your belief, and I guess we'll never find out until the day we die, and then we won't remember. So that's a bit of a dilemma. But, you know, we go, our spirit, our energy go somewhere else, and our body is the only thing that fades away and dies. I was going to make another joke, but that's not appropriate. So, you know, the point is that we are completely energy, and we can feel that energy, can't we? And we can feel our own aliveness, and we can feel when someone else is listening to us. Like, there's a lot of women on this call. We can definitely feel when our partner's not listening to us, right? You know, the light isn't even on, let alone no one being home. So we can just feel it. We can just feel things, and that feeling is energy. You know, that knowing inside of you, that's energy. Like, obviously this is my favorite subject, hence why I'm so excited. But, you know, I always believed that energy was everything, and I haven't changed my mind. I've just been on a big journey that's taken me to consciousness, and I understood that consciousness was what made energy. And then I'm like, well, no, because this aliveness, this is who I am. And when I feel this aliveness in somebody else as well, there's this instant connection, isn't there? There's this instant pull, this instant attraction, where you're just there, you're with the person, you're leaning in, you're loving what they're talking about, because it just sparks you alive. So everything's energy, and we are it. Consciousness, mind, life force, God, nature, is all the same thing. So energy is everything, and there's a way of tapping into it. And that's what me and Damian are here to teach you.
So that's what I really wanted to come to next, because I've got someone else in the waiting room. I'm just going to have to be like a part-time bouncer here. What I've noticed through working alongside you, Fiona, is that my energy levels have just, I feel like a rising tide. Yeah. I'm doing things that I wouldn't normally do. I don't know if anyone was at Viva when I did the stand-up comedy, you know, and you know, Sheila Massan came up to me and said, "Oh, would you like 5 minutes?" I said, "Oh, give me 7," and I ended up doing 15. You know, I can't explain it, and yeah, I'm also very aware of the fact that, you know, this is kind of what people are kind of looking for. They kind of want this, you know, how do I get more energy? How do I tap into this energy? What is it? Where does it come from? So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so one of the reasons why we decided Cape Verde is because it's sun, and everybody feels better in the sun. And why? Because the sun is one of the most powerful, I'm going to say beings, because I believe it's a being. You can call it a thing, you can call it whatever you want, but it's definitely powerful. And we feel that, don't we? We feel better on a sunny day. And is that thought? Of course it is. But it's also energy. And if we're going to talk about science, it's vitamin D. So, but we can tap into that good feeling anytime we want, because energy is us and we are mind. So it's available to us all the time. Why? Because we are it. So how do we tap into it? It's true, you just go silent. You just focus in, you just turn your attention inwards. And, you know, everybody that's part of my mailing list has my grounding exercises. Because when you turn your attention inwards and you focus on your body, the whole of your body, it looks like an ice cream that you're eating, Lisa. It looks very funny. When you focus in on the whole of your body, you can just feel that there's aliveness, there's energy in there. Like the people that's done the grounding exercise with me, put up your hand. Is this true, or am I making it up? It's true, right? Yeah. You feel the aliveness. And when you bring your attention into your body and you rest it inside of your body, you know, you can call it your dantian, you can call it your pelvis, you can call it your powerhouse. You can call it whatever you like. You can call it your belly button. But if you bring your attention into your body and you're very aware of the energy that's there, you can really feel it. Now, when we go into nature, and it just naturally quietens our mind, doesn't it? And then we flow through nature, because nature flows through us. Why? Because it is us. because there's no difference. Like, I know a few of you in this room have pets, and you can just be with your pet, can't you? Because your pet is the way they are. They're not pretending to be anything else. You know, they're not sitting there thinking about life, the universe and everything. They're doing what they're doing. They're in the moment. So, you know, a great teacher of energy is a pet or a newborn baby or somebody with, I hope this is the PC term, a lot of people with learning difficulties, that they are just naturally themselves. And why is that reason? Because they're not in their head telling themselves any different. And yes, they've been conditioned, but they've not been conditioned to the extent that the rest of our so-called intelligent people have been.
I was just writing a piece today. We're doing a number of pitches for some businesses, and we're trying to put this into really simple terms in terms of the principles, but we're not talking about the principles. And so one of the things I was writing today was when they've done studies of young children and their brainwaves are basically an alpha and theta pretty much all the time because they're so present in play. They're just focusing on they're enjoying, they're in the moment with whatever they're doing. And even when they have, like, you know, the anger or the upset, they're so in the moment, and it's kind of temporary and it goes. And I just thought that's such a beautiful analogy to kind of bring into this piece, because we were talking about agile mindsets, and my point was, you know, we have an agile mindset. You don't need to get an agile mindset; you have one. And so we're pointing people back to what they already have by stripping away the thought. Just on that one, because I think this is where, I mean, I know this is certainly where I differ from the potentially other three principles coaches. I encourage meditation. I mean, I really do. I encourage mindfulness. I think it's great. I mean, it's a doing. And so, you know, just from what I just said then, what I talk about is subtractive. We're taking stuff away. So, you know, you don't need to go anywhere to meditate. Having said that, what we're talking about here can sound sort of counterintuitive. You know, why is it that the ocean is so powerful? Why is it the volcanoes on Cabo Verde and the spiritual rocks we're going to be going to? What is it about them? Where is that energy? How are we feeling that from an inside-out perspective?
What was that question he was asking me?
Yeah, I mean, I can answer it, but you can go ahead.
Okay, so there's one simple answer, because we are it. You know, so you might say, yeah, but a volcano feels a lot different than the ocean. Yeah, just look at your experience on a day-to-day basis. Don't you sometimes feel relaxed like the ocean, that you can come and go, you can ebb with the tide and nothing bothers you? These are metaphors, but they're pointing to something real. They're pointing to who you are, and they're pointing to certain energy that you run through yourself at certain times. And a volcano, I've been to different volcanoes around the world because, you know, one of my hobbies is to visit as many ecosystems as possible before we destroy them all, which hopefully we won't. But different ecosystems in different places feel completely different because there's just, you know, the rocks that they're made of is different. The phase of the volcano is different. Is it about to explode again, or did it explode recently? Has it been dormant for many years? You know, there's a spark that they measure, which Damian made me know. There's, I don't know things like this in science, that they measure in a volcano to see if it's ever going to erupt again. Now, if that spark's alive, if it's an active volcano, you can feel that. And I was with a guy the other day giving him a session, and I just said to him, you know what, when I look at you, I just feel a volcano. I just feel a volcano that's about to erupt.
Wow.
And he burst out crying. And then I said, okay, but express that. And then there was a lot of expletives. And then, you know, I helped him to clear this energy because it wasn't even his. It was from his past. It was from everything that had built up in him about what his father had told him about who he should be and who he isn't, and how to learn all this conditioning. And when we go to powerful points around the world, which Cabo Verde is a powerful point in the world, and we get in touch with this nature that's not been touched by many people, we just get reflection of ourselves, and we get whatever reflection of ourselves that we need in that moment. And that's the power of nature, because it shows you who you really are, because you're not separate from nature. Does that answer the question, Damian?
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, and this is something that I had to say again today, because someone who was fairly new to the principles sort of came in and just went, I don't get this, I don't get this, how would the principles speak to something or other? And I said, hold on a minute, the principles doesn't speak to anything. The principles are a description of a process. They're non-prescriptive. They don't do anything. They're just a description of how we experience life. We are part of nature, and we experience nature from the inside out. There's some sort of creation spark within us. Call it like the manifestation of a black hole within us that is bringing this incredible power source of energy from the universe, and is creating thoughts and this consciousness to feel the thought. And we experience that process from the inside, from inside of us out. I mean, again, that's metaphorical, because it's not really inside out, it's all one. Yeah, that's a description of the process. If we're stuck in a nuclear reactor, right, that nuclear reactor is going to have an effect on our body physiologically, but we will experience that from the inside out. It's our experience of that's the direction of the process. Now, because we are connected to this nature, because we are nature, because we are not separate from nature, that incredible intelligence over billions of years of evolution that's given us the ability to do what we're doing right now is there for the taking. But what we see in front of us with a computer screen is just like one gazillionth of what's on offer when we tap into the billions of years of evolution. So by aligning ourselves with it's like when we go for a walk in a forest, we are actually aligning ourselves with systems that are just working in beautiful harmony. It's no wonder we feel better. It's no wonder we feel more grounded, because we are surrounded by that energy. And so to me, it's just with the principles, we're just describing how a system works, in the same way that, mathematics describes how we add up and subtract and multiply. It's just a description. I think people sometimes get that wrong with the principles. But then some people say to me, it's like, well, how come I feel so much better? It's like, well, that's because you've gone on a thought diet. You're just not taking yourself so seriously anymore. And they go, oh, yeah, that's a good point. Do we have any questions, by the way, before we keep going? Karina, is that your... Hello, Karina's boy, is that? Yeah, hello. Listening intently. That's really good. Do we have any questions around energy before we kind of move on? Any questions around energy that people want to, that's occurring to people that they would like answered?
Lisa's got a hand up.
Lisa, I'll unmute you. Hold on a second. Go for it.
Hi, Fiona.
Hi, Lisa.
So do you think that animals can feel our energy, or do you think it's just that they can feel emotion or read our emotions?
So first of all, I think emotion means energy in motion.
Yeah.
So, and there's scientific evidence for this. It's not just a made-up fantasy in my head, even though some things are. So can animals feel our emotions, and can animals feel our energy? Yes to both questions. Mm-hmm. I purposely trained my dog to work with my energy. A, because it was easier. B, because, I live in the mountains. When I shout her name, she's not going to hear me. So I want to call her telepathically. I want to close my eyes, send her a picture of her coming towards me, and she comes.
Wow.
Wow. So, because animals work with pictures. When my dog I think she just works with energy. She never sends me a picture, but I definitely can tell what she's feeling. She just looks at me and I'm just like, yeah, okay, I understand. It's time for a walk. And she knows. She just knows. And, and people that don't have pets might think I'm crazy, and that's fine. But people with pets, don't animals just know? They know before we come home from work.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Why? Not because they're looking at the time going, God, it's 6 o'clock, where's my dinner? They feel our energy from a mile away. You know, they feel our thoughts that we're coming home.
I was sat last night with my boa.
That's a snake, by anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be the one that's really defensive, and I sort of nodded off, and it was just so lovely. He just nodded off on my knee, and he's just been so relaxed, and I just thought, I wonder if he can feel my energy. And the guy that had him before, you know, maybe had, you know, bad energy and was frightened of him, but yeah, it was lovely moment. So, and then of course all the horses, dogs, cats, and whatever else we've got here. So yeah, okay, thanks.
So let me just address that just briefly. And Lisa, I totally know what you meant by, you know, the guy had bad energy, and he was quite angry, but, you know, maybe I shouldn't be reading his energy right now. But the point being is that energy is completely neutral. So people say, how can I let go of all this bad energy so easily? How can I let go of this conditioning so easily? And, I shouldn't give it to the ground or to the universe. It's just energy. It's just completely neutral. The only person that gives it meaning is you and the people around you, you know, that labels it good or bad or angry or this or that. And there's energy that serves you and there's energy that doesn't serve you. But it's like trash, you know. Somebody's trash is another person's treasure. It's just energy.
Mm. Just on that last point, I just wanted to mention Sasha, Donna's German Shepherd, who passed away in the summer with twisted gut. When her dad died a year and a half ago, he had cancer. And, you know, Sasha and him were just like really, really, really close. And then 2 weeks before he passed, Sasha wouldn't even go in the house to see him. But it was literally just, I can't go near him. And he just knew at that point that he was on his way out. And, you know, I've heard about those sort of stories before, but to get it, you know, firsthand like that was pretty powerful.
Yeah, dogs can smell cancer. They now use dogs to diagnose cancer and diagnose what stages it's in.
Mm.
You know,
but there are people that can do that as well, obviously, because they're just people.
Yeah, I can see cancer, but you know, I don't want to make anyone any promises or anything like that. You know, I send them to the doctor.
Yeah. On that front, actually, because, you know, I'm kind of looking into this all the time. I always start any sort of workshop or training with, you know, I know one thing that there's so much I don't know, and what I do know is like a tiny part of the infinitesimal piece. But that, you know, there's certain things that I found out which are useful, and I can share those. But I'm always kind of looking in this direction because it just fascinates me. You know, people that are working with energy on the healing side. You know, I don't know much about it, but I know, you know, there's a lot of people in the Three Principles community who've worked with, you know, Reiki and all sorts of, you know, energy healing. I love the fact that, you know, we're talking about this. I love the fact that we're fitting it together, because there's certain people that don't want to talk about this and want to, you know, they keep it separate. How when you came across the principles, how did it fit into, because you said it was just the part of the jigsaw puzzle that described, you know, something that you knew already, which I think is the same for a lot of people. Can you just describe how that kind of fitted in with you?
So in terms of energy, because it really fit in with the mind thing and why people get lost in their mind. But in terms of energy, what I saw was that Sydney Banks, he was also, he's the founder of the Three Principles, for those of you that don't know. He was always talking about get into the feeling, you know, don't worry about the words, get into the feeling of mind. And when I first heard him say this, you know, I got the wonderful feeling, and I just dismissed it, because to me that was normal. That feeling for me was just normal. And then a couple of days later, when I wasn't feeling that great, I think someone had annoyed me, or I'd allowed myself to be annoyed by something, I started thinking about, well, what does that feeling mean? And I remember I wrote somebody a message and I asked them, and then I was just like, duh, you know, it's who we really are. It's mind. And now what's really come together for me in a much deeper way is it's really like finish the loop that I was talking about earlier, that it's not a case of does mind manage energy or does energy manage mind. They are one and the same thing. They're both life force, like I've already explained. But also, you know, a lot of people say, you know, there's no strategies in the three principles, and that they say that in the conscious evolutionary community as well. There's no strategy, and you know, and sometimes that drives you mad, right? Because you're used to having strategies. We want something to do, right? We're human beings, and often we think of ourselves as human doings. We like to have something to do. Now, you know, so people become fascinated with energy, and that's not what I want you to do, because you are already that energy. But the way it came together for me was, if it's all just thought, why do we keep trapping ourselves? Why do we just keep tripping up on the same thing all of the time? Now, I'm not taking away from it is thought. I'm not taking away from that at all. But there's a lot of thoughts that you have that are unconscious. There's a lot of thoughts that you have that are being conditioned into you. There's a lot of beliefs and thoughts and things. And if you just stay with thought, you're still staying with the mind. You're still getting lost up here. Like a lot of people, and this is my own opinion, and I might be wrong, but a lot of people haven't embodied the three principles. They've not fully understood it from a body level, from a I am consciousness. You know, in their head, they believe they're consciousness. But how do you really embody that? And you embody that by really feeling your energy, by being really present inside of you. So when you're really present inside of you, you know what your conditioning is, and you know what's you and why, because the conditioning is not you. So it's not clear. It doesn't feel like you. It doesn't feel alive. It feels something else. Whatever that is for you, it feels something else. So by working with energy, you can clear the energy of the conditioning that gives you more clarity and more insights, so you can reach mind quicker and easier. And then you're just that flowing, intuitive being that's completely in nature with themselves. Does that make sense? Rather confused anyone? Like, please tell me if you don't get it, or if you think I'm talking a load of rubbish. You know, that's great. Please tell me. Don't be shy now. Come on.
I like to think of it as improving the conditions. So, you know, if you put, you know, seeds on a gravel path, they'll grow. Yeah, they will grow. Like weeds will grow anywhere. But if you actually put, you know, sort of fertilizer down, and everyone's completely frozen. Can you hear me still? Yeah. If you put fertilizer down and water, and put it in sunshine, it's going to grow faster. It's going to grow more easily. So it's not that, certainly. So for me, the conditions for higher energy are when I look after myself. When I eat better, when I drink lots of water, when I get lots of sleep, when I get outside and get fresh air, when I get sick. Now that doesn't mean to say that you couldn't stick me in a darkened room and I could still feel okay. It just means that I'm improving the conditions to make that happen. Does that make sense? Oh, everyone's frozen.
Yeah, no, your video keeps going freezing, Damian. But yeah, so sorry about the internet conditions. We can't control everything all the time.
Especially where I am. It's really bad here. And when
you really know mind, you're not in control of anything. But that, if you come on the retreat, we're going to talk more about that. And in a way that you're going to understand it, and it's not going to be scary anymore.
Just on that one, because we spoke to Danny yesterday. Danny is he runs Cabo Verde, which is the centre actually in Cape Verde in Santa Maria. The reason, when we went there last year with Jack Pransky, it has an incredible feel about this place, because I don't know if anyone went to Ibiza before it kind of got popular for being a music island. It kind of has that feel about it. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous energy there. And when I sort of discovered why, it's because it's the last island on the slave route to America. And there's more cultures in Sal on the salt. It's the Salt Island. It's in Sal Island, than anywhere else in the world. And they even have their own language, which you can't even learn. You have to be there to speak it, to learn it, because it was the language that was spoken behind the slave traders' backs so that they didn't understand. And so when we spoke to Danny yesterday, we were talking about the places we're going to go. There's a good question coming in about dark energy. I like that. We're going to go to the spiritual rocks. We're going to go to the ocean, to this particular place in the north of Ireland where they go and they hang out. And it's going to be incredible. Just shall we just get this question, because this is a good one. What about the feeling of?
I don't think we can say her name, so I'm just going to ask her.
Was that the question?
You can say the question, but I'm not sure if you can say her name. I'm just going to ask her.
She said it to everyone. So, question is, what about a feeling of dark energy around you? Is that true, or is it just fear and thought? Go for it.
Yeah, so it'd be a lot easier if I knew I could say your name or not, and if I knew I could read your energy or not. But to answer in a general way.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, we can feel. So what you feel around you is often a reflection of what's going on inside of you, and sometimes, yeah, there is other people's energies that are around you that are dark and they are heavy. So so some of what you're feeling is definitely a reflection of what's going on inside of you, and some of what you're feeling is other people's energies that's not even yours. So a quick, really good energy tip for everyone: when you're feeling dark, when you're feeling low, you can just ask, is this my energy? And just allow whatever is not yours to be gone. And why does that happen so easily? Because if it's not yours, there's nothing you can do about it. So what's the point of holding on to it? And if it's not yours, it's a blessing to you and the person it belongs to give them back their energy. So is this my energy? If you get a yes or a no at this stage, it doesn't really matter, because you can just say what's not mine, go back to who you belong to, go back to where you belong to, and the energy will just completely go back. And even if you are an empath, even if you are somebody that feels a lot of energy, that feels a lot of emotions, that feels a lot of feelings, you're not helping yourself by allowing yourself to feel other people's energies all of the time. You're not helping yourself by continuously allowing yourself to be open, and you're definitely not helping yourself by holding on to that energy. And I mean this with love. You're not even helping yourself. You're not even helping the other person by holding on to their energy. Give it back to them. They can do something about it. You can't. And anyone that's got kids here will know that, especially when they're teenagers or terrible twos. There's nothing you can do for them, is there? They will sort it out in their own sweet time. Yes, they might need a shoulder to cry on. They might need someone to shout at. You know, they might need someone just sitting beside them, not saying or doing anything. But they will come out of their funk when they come out of it. Isn't that true? Like, I'm a child psychologist. I haven't got children. But I just used to sit with the children in the hospital and they'd get better. And people would say, you're not doing anything. How come the kids are getting better? And I'll be like, I must be doing something because they're getting better. And I was just sitting with them in acceptance.
Love that. Vanessa was saying that she feels like it's her as opposed to someone else's energy.
Well, that's just because, as she said, that she's an empath. So you've actually taken that on as your energy, because this is what the wounded healer is. And Vanessa, I'm not precisely saying you're a wounded. Okay, Vanessa, you are a wounded healer. So, you know, so it's a paradigm change. And we're in a new paradigm now. But the old paradigm was, we all believed, and a lot of people still do, unconsciously, mothers always believe this. They always say, and fathers, I wish I could take on your pain. I wish I could change it. Don't you say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do. You do take on their pain. You do take on their feelings. Why? Because in the old paradigm, that's how we used to heal. I'll take on this energy, I'll sort it out, I'll make it okay in myself, and I'll give you back the beautiful, clean energy. It's what we all do unconsciously, but there's just no need to do it, because that is the old paradigm. That's Christina's son that didn't even look at me. So, yeah, I know what he's like. So that is the old paradigm. We want to take it on.
And as I said, it was my parents' energy I took.
Your parents taught you to be an empath because that served them, and it served you as a child. And now it's up to you what you do with that energy, and I will help you work with it. So, does anyone else have any questions?
Just on that one, when I was speaking to someone else today, and she was asking about how she could coach from a three principles perspective. And I said, well, again, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. But coaching from the three principles are a description of like how you experience life. They're not. You don't coach from a three principles perspective. I said, show up and love someone. There you go. That's coaching. Just show up and hold the space to love them. And, listen and see what occurs to you. And if a strategy occurs, give them that. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And, that's it. And she went, oh, well, yeah, I could do that. And she did.
So grounding and being in nature is like showing up and giving space for yourself. So Lisa said, was the magnet in the lake you talked about last time, Fiona? Well, what was the magnet in the lake you talked about last time, Fiona? Sorry, I'm dyslexic, and when I get into energy mode, I can't read. I had to swap from one to the other. So yeah, magnet in the lake is an exercise that I use with people, and it's free. It's on my website, so I'll send you the link to it, because you'll get an email from me within a few days after this call. And it's basically an exercise that really helps you clear energy that's not yours. So this would be good for everyone on this call, and for Nessa. It helps you clear energy that's not yours, energy that's not in present time, which means energy that's not relevant for you now. It helps you clear energy that no longer serves you. So that's thoughts, beliefs, emotions, black, blue, dark energy. Does that answer your question, Lisa? Yeah. And people can talk to us. We are friendly.
It just occurred to me then, and I know Cullen is on the call, and I hope he's listening, because he works with energy as well. There is a lack of guys on this call, and that isn't that. I mean, you would think with energy they'd be like in front of the queue. It's like, yeah, energy, power, here we go. But no, it's it's not really. And bearing in mind, I've done a lot of work with around suicide as well, and the people who commit suicide, and it really, I was shocked when I saw this. Females are 4 times as likely to attempt it, whereas guys are twice as likely to succeed. So we're getting a lot of young males committing suicide at the moment, and there was no notice, no sign, from the families, and it's on social media has a lot to do with that, in this kind of like man up thing. And I just kind of feel that there's like this potential for this energy healing to happen for guys that would just solve a lot of shit in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't ever watch the news. Jesus, just horrendous.
I think a lot. Sorry.
No, I just wonder what everyone thought about that.
What does everyone think about that? We can't hear you, Lisa. It's because people are muted. If you stick your hand up, Damian can
Oh,
unmute you. He does have the power.
Ah. Am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are.
Ah, yeah, no, you're absolutely right with regards to, that it's just an epidemic of young men, committing suicide, and not not being able to support them, or them being able to be more open about what they're feeling. I don't think we have the what's the infrastructure to help, and it's still such a big thing for them to man up. Fortunately, with the Man Up campaign, it's helping a lot. I just know because of my nephew. So yeah. Anyway.
Thank you.
So Chris had a hand up, and Cullum, you wrote something. Do you want to come on and say something, or do you want to prefer just to write?
He's not unmuting himself. We can't see him. Vanessa says, I think men are more impulsive and try sooner, but women tend to go on by trying, i.e. therapy. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm working even now with more women than men. Also bearing in mind that, I do a lot of work in business, and I feel the energy in business. It's like they're trying to prove something, and it's just a misunderstanding. Oh, Cullen says, I've got no headphones and in public. So, yeah, okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay. So I would like to talk about Cullen's point, but Christina, she had her hand up. Damian, if you could unmute her, please.
Yep. Christine, there we go. Unmute. It's weird. It's not unmuting. I can't unmute you. Can you? Oh, there we go. You did it. You've done it.
Ah.
I didn't, Fiona, put my hands on, but you read my thought.
She's good, isn't she? Yeah.
What you are talking about, Fiona knows me a little bit bigger about me, and especially the place where I live in Zurich, in Switzerland. And the way the kids growing up here, especially the boys, they are all disconnected. Especially the boys. I have a boy at home, and the way he talks about the relationship with the boys, they don't talk about the emotions and the feelings. They don't connect with anything. They don't want. The pressure here is too much for them to grow up very fast and to be independent and to earn the money and to be the best on the field and to go by themselves at 16, 17. There's a lot of kids, they earn their money and they work and they are independent. And I see all around me when I go on the streets, on the bus or whatever, is the parents are disconnected, but the kids is incredible. They don't have anything that they appreciate in relation to the heart or to the families, because they are very close until 2 years of age, and then they push them to the school and they cut the relations like that on the quick, and so they are completely lost. And I saw this in other places, and it's not easy for them to be here, and sometimes they go to other situations to feel more connected, like drugs, sex, everything, alcohol, everything, to go to try to feel what it is feeling, because they don't go inside. And I don't know how this will go in the future, but I hope something very beautiful happens between all this generation, because like Fiona says, and I live like this, we are all connected. There's no separation between me and others. And like Vanessa told, we feel, we can say we don't feel, but we feel. If we are in our hearts, we feel everything, and we can feel the pain of the youngs around us. And I think if we do the things that Fiona teaches, like she teach me, lots of beautiful things, we can change this, and more men will come, more fathers will come, they will learn, and they will teach to the kids, like I teach my son. Even if he says, Mommy, I'm not like you, Mommy, I'm not like you, but then when he needs, he says, I talk with my body and now I'm different. So he hears, he doesn't want to accept because they don't want to accept, but the thing stays there. And if we are a good example for them, we don't have to force or change them, because we don't change them. We just have to be. And if we are, they will see and they will do the same for them if they feel this right for them. And this is what I see around me and what I live.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to share.
I think that's very beautiful, Chris, what you said, and it does tie in with what Cullum said, and I thought it would. That, you know, and what Damian said, that what we've all said really, that men, boys, they believe that they have to cut off from their emotions. But more and more women do too. Like, I've worked with a lot of women that are very high up in very important companies. And, you know, for them to get the same wages as a man, they have to be above him in the workplace. And this is a sad, sad fact that it's still true. But for them to rise above the men, they're often competing against men, but unfortunately they're also competing against other women. And there's a whole load of energy conditioning around women and competitiveness and being better and everything else. But sticking with the men, you know, it's like everyone in the workplace feels they have to prove themselves, and men even more. And they feel like they can't show their emotions because it's still perceived in our society, in Western society, that showing emotions is a weakness, and particularly for a man. And so, like Cullum said, and like Chris said, they shut down, they shut off their heart, they distance themselves. Because if they feel too much, they don't think they're going to get what they want out of life. They're not going to be respected from their work or their friends or even their girlfriend or wife. You know, and we have to look very deep in ourselves. There is a part of us that unconsciously believes that a man that's always going on about his emotions isn't a real man. And I was shocked when I found that belief in me, but I found it, you know, and I cleared it. And why is this really important? Because our society, our Western society, teaches us that our brain, our intellect is more important than what we feel, is more important than our being. And if we're always so much in our head, we literally cut ourselves off from the neck down. We stop feeling our bodies, we stop getting in touch with our life force, we stop feeling who we really are, and then all we've got is our thoughts. All we've got is this analytical part of us that thinks we're separate. And then when we think we're separate, the feelings arise, if we're still able to feel them, that we're alone, we're not supported, we don't have anything for anyone in our life, we feel a massive void, and all we've got is the intellect to fill that void. So we keep chasing more, we keep wanting more, we keep doing more, and nothing can fill that void, because there isn't a void. You just need to drop your attention into your body. You just need to be with the beauty of who you are. Be with your beautiful, amazing, creative energy. Because it sounds like a paradox, but it's not. You are oneness, and at the same time, you are a unique being. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that we're oneness. We're just 7 billion expressions of the oneness, and you have a uniqueness to your expression. But to be that uniqueness, you have to feel. You have to be in your body, feeling. Now, I know this might sound really strong, and if you don't resonate with me, that's okay, because I'm just my unique being my unique self, hopefully giving you the chance for you to be your unique self. And if it does resonate, then join me and Damian in Cape Verde and really, set yourself free to totally be yourself. We're going to have an awesome time together. It's going to be deep. There's going to be tears. And hopefully a lot of them will be laughter and joy tears as well.
And lots of comedy.
And yeah, with Damian, lots of comedy.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed is that you'll hopefully this will resonate with you, when you have a peak of emotion, when you have a peak of laughter or sadness or anger or joy or whatever it is, when you have a peak of emotion, it's in those moments that you feel truly alive. And there's a reason for that. When Sid talked about the feeling, it's all about the feeling. And that for me, certainly since I've met Fiona, it's been I've felt more alive than I've ever felt before. And it's about the energy. It's about tuning into that energy and really kind of tapping into the potential of that. Because if you think of it, this is the bit that's mind-blowing. We are infinite potential in every single second. We are infinite potential manifesting from this formless void of infinite potential into this world of form. And we have so much opportunity to do stuff with that. We can go and love people. We can go and change the world. We can go and, write books that create tears of joy and laughter, and we can just do so much stuff. And when you really when that kind of stuff unfolds in front of you, it's like, oh, I want more of that. You just want to have more of that. So that's why we're doing these things like Cape Verde, because we want to go to places where the energy is really powerful and just tap into that and really like plugging into a socket that's kind of supercharged. And so one of the things we wanted to offer, this is the third webinar we've done. This is actually the first time we've properly mentioned Cape Verde. Is that if anyone on this call wants to go to Cape Verde, that we're going to do a special Black Friday Cyber Monday offer, even though it's Tuesday. And you can come for £395 instead of £495 to the retreat. So we're going to do £100 off for anyone who's on this call. And at the moment, we've got 4 guys and 4 girls coming, and we're capping it at 15. So there's 7 more spaces available. So if you do want to come and join us in Cape Verde, where we are going to be going out, we're not going to be in anywhere. We are going to be coming out. We're going out now. We're going to the spiritual rocks. We're going to go to the ocean. We're going to go to the volcano. So we're going to be tapping into the energy outdoors. So if you guys want to come along, then just send me or Fiona a personal message, and we can sort that out separately. Because the page at the moment, which I'll send you a link to, so you can just get all the details, is here. So Fiona, do you want to just finish off? Bye, Judy.
By the
way.
Bye, Judy. Good to see you on here. So does anyone have any last questions? Any last questions from anyone? And I can't actually see everyone. How do you deal with the effects of EMF and negative impact on your energy fields? Do you recommend using harmonizers? Do they work? Okay, so I think that, I can't even remember what EMF stands for, but it's the electrical field from Wi-Fi and everything else. That's correct, isn't it, Damian? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, see, he's the more scientific word person. I'm just the energy person. So, but I know a lot about science. So yes, we can. Some people are affected by them more than others. That's absolutely true. But if we are tapped into the grounded energy, the abundance, the source of all that is, and the universal energy, then, and we know how to be in our own energy fields, and all of this will be taught to you on the retreat, and how to rest in your own energy, then there's not a lot of outside stuff that can affect you. If you don't know how to do that, I honestly think if you know everything there is about the three principles, but you don't know how to work with your energy, then you've not really embodied the three principles, and things can affect you. Energy from outside of you can affect you. That's my own personal belief. And everyone I've worked with in the free principle community and outside of the free principle community, I've never been shown anything different from that, and that's why I hold on to that belief. So ground yourself. I don't know anything about harmonizers. I know that you can use iodinized stones and black stones to help, and there's other grounding stones out there, but really learn how to ground yourself. And yeah, if you live underneath a pylon, I don't recommend that. I would try and move. But as in Wi-Fi and things like that, you know, if you're grounded, that's really good. And obviously, give yourself a break. Turn off your Wi-Fi at home sometimes. Turn off your phone. Give yourself a break from technology and be out in nature without anything. You know, that's awesome too. And I take an hour or two off every single day where I'm just with my dog in nature, nothing's on.
Lisa said, do you think crystals and stones help?
Yeah, I do. Like I just said, some grounding stones and that do really help. You know, if something resonates with you, then do it. But you have to make friends with a crystal. You know, a crystal's a being. It might not want to be with you. And it's not personal. It has a choice, just like we have a choice. Do we want to spend time with people? Do we not? So it's a really good idea to ask yourself, does this resonate with me? And if it does, pick it up and then ask the crystal, you know, do you resonate with me? And just go with your sense. Even if it seems crazy, just go with your sense. Don't buy it if it doesn't resonate with you and it doesn't want to be with you. Mm. And then you've got to make friends with it. You know, you actually hold it in your hand and just feel it and listen to it. Because it's a being, it has a lot to say.
I love the fact that crystals, I mean, bearing in mind that, you know, all energy is vibration and all form is a vibration is just a very low frequency. So, and it becomes form. So crystals are just really low frequency. They're just incredible.
No, some of them are really high, Damian. Some of them can blow you apart, honestly.
Cool.
I've been with some crystals that I couldn't even be in the same room as them.
But they're very dense. That's what I mean. They're really compact.
I don't agree. I think that some crystals are just so incredibly powerful. Honestly, I couldn't be in the same room with them.
I know I wasn't talking about whether they're powerful or not. I'm just talking about what they are. But yeah, no, I mean, it's like ultraviolet. Ultraviolet light is completely different wavelengths. So, but what is it? It's the form becoming form. All of it. That's what it is. I don't understand crystals at all. I just know that there's certain crystals that you feel there's a feeling to them, and that's really cool. I just love it. There's this thing with a feeling to it.
Yeah.
Are we all empaths?
Yeah.
Can I just ask that? Is everyone an empath to a certain point, to a certain extent?
So who feels energy and has awareness of feeling energy? Pat tentatively puts a hand up. I was like, go on, Pat, get that hand up. Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Is this something that we can learn? Can we kind of learn to tap into this better than we do right now?
Absolutely. Why? Because we was all born tapping into it. We all knew it when we was born. The number one rule with working with energy is just pretend you was a 2-year-old kid. Because a 2-year-old kid, if I said to a 2-year-old kid, imagine a golden ball in front of you, they'd be like, and most adults would go, what do you mean a golden ball? What does it look like? What shape is it? You know, so the number one rule with working on energy, just have fun, just enjoy it. Just let your imagination go crazy, because your brain does not know the difference between what's imagined and what's reality. So if your brain doesn't, your hormones doesn't, your body doesn't, nothing does. So if you want something to happen, imagine it and then it'll happen. Come on the retreat and find out.
I'm definitely finding that is working big time at the moment. When you imagine something and you really get in the feeling of it and you get really excited about it, it bloody comes true. It's really weird. My whole comedy thing, that's how I created it. It's exactly how I created it. It was really strange because I'm not even funny.
And who believes that?
Well, you see, it's all manifested. Brilliant. Thanks everyone for coming on the call, and we'll send you the links as well, and also to the replay. Brilliant. Thanks for all your input as well. And Fiona, is this the last one we're doing before Cape Verde, isn't it? We're gonna have Christmas off. What are we gonna do?
No. Well, wait and see, people. We never know. But yeah, have lots of fun. And if we don't connect with you, have a beautiful Christmas. And it will be wonderful to see you all on the retreat.
It'd be amazing to see you guys. And it's such a beautiful place. It's absolutely gorgeous, stunning. All right, guys.
And who doesn't want sun in January?
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Fiona.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.